Hello and welcome. Today, the three heroes of Board Crazy go adventuring in the realm of Terranoth with a game of Legacy of Dragonholt. Legacy of Dragonholt is a game for 1 to 6 players, designed by Nikki Valens and published by Fantasy Flight Games. It is a role-playing game, albeit one that eschews genre conventions. While players will be earning things like experience, gold, and items, there is no game master and there is no dice rolling. Instead, the players will be making their way through stories written in the style of a choose-your-own-adventure novel. At the start of the game, each player creates their own character. Along with the normal things like a race and a class, players also assign their character between 5 and 8 skills. There are no stats like strength or intelligence to keep track of. Instead, each character simply has a stamina, which is determined by the number of skills they've been assigned. A player with a minimum of 5 skills will have the maximum 14 stamina, while each additional skill added decreases that stamina maximum by 2. Stamina is expended when players take damage or engage in strenuous physical activities. Playing the game is as simple as reading the adventures and making choices when prompted. In games with more than one player, each player has an activation token, which they must flip over once they make a decision. Only once all players have made choices may the token be flipped back over, and then players can choose once more. Additionally, there are going to be certain choices presented which are only available to players who have a certain skill. It's really as simple as that, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get started. Okay, so before we get to reading, we of course have to introduce ourselves. I am D. I am joined, as ever, by these two.
I'm Graham.
Yeah.
I'm joined by these two.
Yeah.
And I'm Will. Hello.
Is that it?
I got nothing.
All right, good. So before we get started, we should probably just do a quick overview of our characters for the folks at home so they know what they should be expecting. My character is Ciarán Valima. He's a Dawnsmore elf from the free city of Dawnsmore. He is a brawler, age 54, which might sound old, but is actually quite young for the very long-lived elves.
He's like 12.
Yeah, basically, no, I'm an infant. No. Skills are mostly focused on the physical parts of life. Ciarán is a former boxer whose trainer and mentor has recently passed away, and he's sort of going out and seeing and experiencing as much as he can in tribute to his short-lived human mentor. Ciarán is tall and lanky with sort of like a wiry strength, fair complexion, short blonde hair, green eyes. Well, elves are known for their sort of natural beauty. His has been sort of dimmed a little bit. He's got a broken nose from his fighting days, which wasn't set exactly right. And his knuckles are always bruised and calloused from his little scrapes he gets into. He dressed very light and simple, plain clothes, maybe some very light padded armor. No weapons, just a bag to hold his stuff. That's about it. And he's joined by
Duke Jackson.
Yeah, Duke Jackson.
Human.
Yes.
He's a thief. Age 25, he's male. Well, according to my sheet, my guy is 5 foot, 11 foot.
I forgot. I was adding a line there and just saw that problem.
Yep. Sorry, 5 inches, 11 foot.
It's really tall.
11'5".
170 pounds.
Yeah.
Slim but muscular.
Ooh.
And he's got brown hair and blue eyes, ladies.
What does he wear?
Nothing.
He's naked.
He's been naked this whole time.
He's a nudist.
No one has pointed this out.
He's just got this naked guy. All right.
He was born, so he was born into a wealthy family. His father was a successful merchant. His mother was an alcoholic stay-at-home mom. Didn't really do anything.
Oh, really? Is that one there?
Yeah.
Ow. It's dark. Okay.
He's got mom at the shoes.
He was bored, so he picked up thieving for fun.
Yeah. And he ran away.
Yeah.
Will? Who are you?
I'm playing Wilbert Warmbelly, but his friends and confidants call him Pudge.
Pudge. Okay.
He is a 2 foot 6 inches tall, 150-pound wandering gnome. So he's like a ball,
Yeah.
ostensibly. He's an apothecary. He's 42 years old.
Uh-huh.
Bald on top, but has like a large curly reddish-brown like fro going around the sides.
All right.
He wears navy blue robes that are loose-fitting because of his size, with like gold cords tied at the waist and some gold inlay. He has a brown satchel on his right waist full of like potions and cutlery for his cooking. He's clean-shaven. He's got brown eyes, and oh my God, he's like got definitely like the red cheek thing going on.
Rosacea?
Yeah, definitely.
I bet.
Traveled around a lot with his family while he was young and went to a lot of really great restaurants. Became obsessed with food. Always has dealt with obesity issues throughout his life. Went to a pretty cool university. Learned like potion making and whatnot since culinary sort of shunned. And now he's a cookbook writer and pretty well known and well regarded.
Yeah. Ciarán and Duke are kind of serving as his servants for the time being. I am the muscle. Duke acquires things as necessary.
As necessary, yes.
So, with that, I think we should get started.
Yes.
Graham will be keeping track of the entries we've been reading and the time if we get to that. Will is going to be keeping track of...
Story points and notes.
Yes, exactly.
And gold and fame.
Yes. Besides our own stats. So I'll be doing the reading. Graham, we start with entry 1000. Narrator D time. You slump down on the wooden bench, stretching your legs. You've been traveling for nearly a week now toward a small village called Dragonholt. Your journey is at the request of Celise, a former adventuring companion and friend, who has since found her calling as a tutor to the children of Countess Regina Fairfax, Lady of Dragonholt. You take a moment to reread the letter. Read the letter from Celise, and we're going to give this to Pudge. Was it?
Yep.
Pudge is the old friend of Celise. Read it out loud, Will. We should know it.
Okay. It says, my friend, I pray this letter finds you in good health for, I think it's supposed to say once, but I'm pretty sure this is acne right here. Yep.
I forgot, Will's really bad with handwriting.
For once, because I need you to... What the heck
Maybe I should read it. Maybe I should read it for you.
It means travel.
It's gotta be.
Is it intentionally wrong?
It could be intentionally wrong.
Okay.
Could be wrong, yeah. It's handwritten.
All right. As you might have heard, I have taken a position as a tutor in the household of Lady Regina Fairfax, Countess of Dragonholt, just outside the village. I elected to take this position because I hoped for some peace and quiet after that business in Narek Hall. Had I known what my future held, I would have done something else entirely. Lady Regina's 3 children are more than lively enough to deny me anything resembling peace or quiet. Even now that they are mainly grown, I remain very busy. But I did not write you to complain about my lot in life, as you know. I never complain, even when the so-called dwarven wine is... This is weirdly written, I'm sorry.
Reading was never his strong suit.
No.
Oh, I'm not reading this as Pudge.
Well, you should
I'm just reading this as myself.
I mean, you should be.
Why would I be reading it as Pudge?
Pudge is one reading it.
Okay, so she says, as you know, I never complain even when the so-called dwarven wine is very obviously an inferior human vintage, again, or when my very favorite cloak, the blue one, is stained by some drunken lush spilling his wine. Elves should really stay out of human taverns. I write to you because I fear something sinister is at work here in Dragonholt, and I require your assistance. I dare not say more openly, as I think it likely this message will be intercepted. I can trust no one here to help me with this matter. After that business in Narek Hall, I have only you and a small handful of other allies left. Please help me. There is more at stake than you know, Celise, who probably should not be teaching anyone.
Intercepted.
Actually, you can hold on to that.
It was intercepted.
We're going to probably need to reference that. Please refer to my first letter.
Huh. Oh, it says that, yeah.
Hold on to that. You are uncertain why Celise has summoned you to Dragonholt. Her letter is strange, speaking only of a vague threat that requires your assistance. And although you are sure the letter was written in her hand, and the message contains several details that you find uncharacteristic of the elf you adventured with in the past. You had never known Celise, her name is Celise, the C,
Yes.
to drink dwarven wine, and you would swear she always wore a green cloak. It is not unthinkable that her preferences have changed over the years, but something about the way the message is written makes you feel there's more to the letter than is obvious. You have always known Celeste to be excessively proper in her speaking. She must have been in a panic while writing to have produced so many spelling errors. Even more alarming is the brief note on the back of the letter. You had not received any word from Celeste before this one. Could she have sent another letter that was intercepted as she had feared? Regardless of the vagueness of her request, you owe Celeste at least this much after that business in Naricol. As the tutor in
that business.
As the tutor in the employ of a countess, she may be in a position to reward you handsomely for any assistance you can render.
Ooh.
Excuse me, is this road the fastest way to Dragonholt? You look up from the letter to see Miriam, a gnome merchant. Hey, well, you're a gnome, so you're not really looking up that high, but a gnome merchant you've been traveling with, talking to another traveler and pointing down a path toward a forbidding-looking forest. Aye, if you're going to Dragonholt, you'll have to go through Eventide Forest. Ain't no way around it. About a day's travel straight through. Miriam thanks the traveler, and he continues on his way in the direction opposite the forest. You fold the letter and stow it away before standing. It won't do to rest for too long. You sling your baggage over your shoulder and prepare to resume your travels. Miriam turns to face you. Well, what are we waiting for? If that's the road to Dragonholt, let's be off. Miriam has been traveling with you for some 3 days now. Like you, she is traveling to Dragonholt, and, as she put it when you met, the more the merrier. We should proceed with caution, calls Braxton from behind you. The orc woman hefts Miriam's bag off the ground where the gnome had left it and drops it into Miriam's open arms. Rumor has it, there are bandits who make camp in those woods. We should watch our backs as we pass through. Since meeting Miriam and the orc knight-errant, you have found Braxton to be the more cautious of the pair by a wide margin. As far as you can tell, Miriam has hired Braxton for protection, but at times the orc seems to dote on the gnome more than a bodyguard would. You nod in agreement at Braxton's comment. With a last fleeting glance at the crossroads signpost, you follow after the energetic gnome, who has already started off towards Eventide Forest. Now we are presented with our first decision point, which one of us will have to make.
Ugh.
The options are... do you want to make the first one? Do you want to make the first one?
Okay.
I'm just like, you're kind of our leader for the time being.
Sure.
Maybe you make the first choice. The options are, let's make some headway before we lose light. What else have you heard about these bandits? And stick close, Miriam. It's dangerous to get separated.
What else have you heard about the bandits? Is that one of the options?
No! The options I just read to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, what else have you heard? I'm sorry. I thought you were asking... I thought you were asking me. I'm sorry, Will. That was my mistake. Yes, that is one of the options. I thought you were like consulting me for like advice. Okay. What else have you heard about these bandits?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
Pudge asks.
Pudge, yes.
We go to entry 7773. That's towards the back of the book. Flip over your activation token, Will. Oh, so you made the first choice. Now Graham and I must make the next one. 7773. Braxton strides beside you, keeping an ever-watchful eye on her eager companion. Not much. I've just heard from some travelers that a number of caravans have been ambushed while passing through. Valuable goods were taken, but the merchants and traders have been mostly unharmed. Story point S1. So we have two options here, Graham. Either we should hurry along before it gets dark, or Miriam, and best you don't get too far ahead.
Miriam, it's best you don't get too far ahead.
Okay, so you've made your call.
Classic Duke.
That brings us to entry 2808. You have to do that a lot. That first one is going to be probably the longest reading section by far.
Oh, okay.
The young gnome glances over her shoulder at you with a raised eyebrow. You're starting to sound like Braxton. She twirls to face you and walks backwards down the road in front of you. Despite my size, I'm quite capable of protecting myself, you know. Braxton chuckles warmly to herself. I believe our new friend is worried for you not because of your size, but because of your nature. Even though you can protect yourself, try not to worry us too much. Mark story point R6, and I have to go read entry 1340. There is no choice, so I will. As you speak with your traveling companion, small trees begin to dot the terrain around you. Tall grass gives way to brush, and you soon find yourself at the edge of the forest. Time passes, which means we have to mark off one passage of time, first one on that sheet there. As you walk, you take the chance to become better acquainted with your fellow travelers. The options are either to ask Miriam what she's going to do in Dragonholt or Braxton. This option will not exhaust my activation token, but I'm going to make it anyway. I'm going to ask Braxton what she plans to do in Dragonholt. As the muscle for my own particular group, I feel more of a kinship with her. So I'm going to mark story point N3.
Oh, N3.
N3. I'm going to read 49:45.
Bingo.
Braxton smiles gently, nodding her head in Miriam's direction. I will continue to protect our friend Miriam for as long as she requires my services. As you may have noticed, looking after her does not leave me much time for anything else. I resemble that remark, calls Miriam. After that, I am not certain. I was not certain what to do with myself before meeting Miriam either. I suppose I will travel to a larger city and try to find employment. Now, I've got several options here. Let's see. I can either ask Braxton about her past adventures, ask her how she met Miriam. I can tell her about my past adventures if I have deception or skill, or deception or performance, which I do not. I can ask her which lord she served if I have empathy or history, which I do not. I can ask her about her military training if I have history or military, which I do not. Or I can show Braxton how to foil sleight of hand if I have awareness or thievery. I do have awareness. I can do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask her about it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to show Braxton how to foil sleight of hand using my awareness skill. I will have made my choice. This means we can all flip them back over. Now we're all free to make choices again.
Boom.
And I will be going to entry 7526.
7526.
Braxton chuckles and waves one hand dismissively. I'm certain that I'm capable of. She notices what you are holding, and her hand drops to her belt, where her purse had been until just recently. How did you get my purse? Give that back, she says. And then show me how you did that. You return her purse and then spend a few minutes walking her through the basics of misdirection and thievery. Her brow furrows as she focuses intently on your lesson. Mark story points O2 and W3. There's options here. If 2 or more time has passed, we would read one entry. We have not had 2 or more time pass, so we're going to read entry 7616, which is right here.
7616.
You continue down the road, and the sky overhead is soon obscured by the foliage of the forest canopy. Streams of sunlight dance around you as a gentle breeze shakes the leafy ceiling. Miriam skips forward and spins through the shafts of light, smiling and laughing. It would be best if you stayed close. Becoming lost in the woods is all too common for those not accustomed to traveling without the sun or moon to guide them. Despite the orc's warning, Braxton makes no additional effort to keep pace with the playful gnome. Is story point N3 marked? As in Nancy 3. It is marked. Okay, so we're going to be reading 4389.
4389.
You change the subject, electing to ask Braxton what she knows about Dragonholt. I've never been to Dragonholt myself, says Braxton. Lord Collar's lands were west of here, so I never had an occasion to visit. I did hear that the village has a fine inn. You heard that from me, calls Miriam. Miriam's aunt runs the place, says Braxton with a smile. Apart from that, I think the place is rather unremarkable. A small collection of houses surrounded by farms and orchards. She frowns and drums her finger on the hilt of her sword, looking all around. Well, there was that one story about a brave hero who could freeze a dragon's flames in its throat, but I think that was just a story. Braxton lapses into a comfortable silence for some time. Now, we can either ask Braxton about her family, about orcs, or leave Braxton to her thoughts.
I defer to you, D.
I'm going to make this choice. I'm going to ask Braxton about her family, which will take us to entry 2062.
2062.
I haven't seen them in years, she says. My brothers were not happy about me abandoning them to take service with Lord Collar. But to be honest, I had to get away. After our father died, my brothers became more and more domineering. They wouldn't let my mother and me do anything without their permission. I was going on long hunting trips just to avoid them. It was on one of those trips that I met Lord Collar. She glances up at the forest canopy as if to see her brothers there. It's funny, but now that I'm grown and a knight, I miss them. I'd like to see them again, as equals. I'd like to meet them too, calls Miriam. Maybe break all their kneecaps. Miriam doesn't like my brothers, explains Braxton, even though she doesn't know anything about them. They were awful to you, says Miriam. That's all I need to know. Now, 2 or more time has not passed still, so we are reading entry 3859. Eventide Forest is an intimidating landmark, and you can see why Braxton was concerned. Within an hour of entering the forest, the thin young trees give way to ancient, gnarled guardians. The light, leafy canopy transforms into an oppressive shroud that cloaks the road in darkness. Even during the most sunny of days, time passes. Time too. In the darkness of Eventide Forest, a chilling stillness reigns, and even bird songs are drowned out by silence. You continue onward, Miriam's usual banter quieted by her new mood, one part fascination and one part fear. Braxton keeps an ever-vigilant eye on the surroundings, her hand now resting on the pommel of her blade at her waist. You soon come to a stop when you catch up to Miriam. She is glancing down the road at what appears to be a small game trail that branches off away from the main road. Up ahead, you see that a number of fallen trees are blocking your path. An old crossroads signpost marks the split, but the wood is too rotted and the writing is indecipherable. What do we do now? It doesn't seem like Lady Regina has been alerted yet. Braxton strains to look over the fallen trees. We could clear the road ourselves or send word to Lady Regina once we reach Dragonholt. We could try this trail, offers Miriam. Maybe it connects to the main road on the other side. So we've got three options. We can either scout along the game trail and report back. We can climb over the trees and continue on the main road. Or we can clear the road of debris before continuing. I cannot make this choice. You two, if you would like to come to some sort of agreement on who thinks they should be making this.
I suggest we scout.
All right,
game
then.
trail.
That's fine by me.
Duke has decided that we should scout along the game trail and report back, which will lead us to entry 5H22.
5822.
You follow the trail away from the main road, ducking under low-hanging branches and hopping over muddy puddles. The trail winds back and forth as you soon lose your bearings. As you scramble over a particularly steep slope, the soft earth gives way, and you tumble head over heels until you come to a stop at the base of a tree. Do you have agility, awareness, or survival? I'm sure you do.
I have agility.
That's the only one you have there? Mm-hmm. Lucky. If you didn't, you would have lost 3 stamina.
Ooh.
You crawl back to your feet and continue on. Yeah, I should probably mention, once someone makes a decision, if the next passage indicates a you, it is referring to the person who made the decision. You crawl back to your feet and continue on, resolving to be more careful.
No.
No. After some time, you rejoin the main road, well past the deadfall that blocked it. You turn back and, being certain to mark your route this time, rejoin the others. Time passes. Mark story point K3. You and your traveling companions make your way along the game trail and continue your journey along the main road. Read entry 8557. After following the winding road for what feels like hours, you begin to fear that you are traveling in circles. Just as you are about to suggest turning back...
We're traveling in circles, I would agree.
Just as you are about to suggest turning back, Miriam calls out from beyond the next bend. There's a clearing up here! As you round the bend, you see Miriam staring up at a single massive tree that stands alone in the center of a clearing some 20 paces across. Ooh.
I don't trust Miriam.
Neither do I. She's a weird woman.
Although
It's
the...
a she?
Miriam?
Miriam?
Yes.
Oh. Whoops.
It's like Miriam, but...
I'm not aware. I'm agile, but not aware.
Duke is not that experienced with women.
No awareness.
As you round the bend, you see Miriam staring up at a single massive... Right, sure, read that. Although the great oak's canopy is just as thick as anywhere else in the forest, its branches reach well above the tops of the surrounding trees, affording you a view of the sky at the edges of the clearing. If 3 or more time has passed, I believe it has.
3.
Yes, so we are going to be reading 3549.
3549. I like to drink white wine.
That's a great song.
I made it up right now.
It's already night. No wonder I feel so tired, Miriam mutters with a large yawn. Sure enough, when you look up, you see stars sparkling brightly in the vast emptiness of the night sky. You note how brilliant they seem so far from the torchlight of the city. At the edges of the clearing, several paths cut through the dense trees, leading away from the great oak in different directions. Only a few seem well-traveled, but none are marked by signs. Braxton, too, has noticed the myriad options for further travel. We should get our bearings before making camp for the night. Miriam rolls her eyes at Braxton's suggestion. We can use the sun as our guide in the morning. I'm going to sleep. With that, she takes out a bedroll and makes camp at the base of the great oak. Now, Will, I believe you're the only person with an active token. So your options are determine your heading by observing the stars. You can do this if you have Arcana, Devotion, or Survival.
I have Survival.
Okay. You can convince Miriam to read the stars before she sleeps, which requires Empathy or Persuasion.
I have Persuasion.
Okay. You can climb the great oak.
Nope. No, that's not happening.
To look for a landmark.
That's not happening.
Do you have Agility or Athletics?
I'm not climbing no tree.
Do you have Agility or Athletics, though, just for the fun?
No, I have no physical traits.
Weird. Or you can leave the navigation to Braxton and turn in for the night.
I'm gonna leave the navigation to Braxton.
So that takes us to entry 3562. You're not going to do it yourself. You're
I'm
gonna leave.
150 pounds.
So
Only 2 feet tall.
the option was just to look up and determine your heading.
That's too much. I'll lose my balance.
Yeah, if you fall on your back, you're like a turtle. You're
I
done.
can't get up.
3562.
Yeah. Braxton sighs and places her pack and heavy shield at the base of the oak tree. I will see if I can get our bearings from higher up in the tree, she says. With that, she begins to climb. After a little while, she drops back down again and tosses a small carved wooden statuette to Miriam. I found dozens of these up in the boughs of the tree. Little scraps of paper with stories written on them, too. Did you also find what way to go? Asked Miriam, holding the statue up to the moonlight for a better look. Yes, I could see the beacon tower in Dragonholt quite clearly from up there. Braxton bends down and retrieves her shield. What about the statuette? What do you make of it? I'm not sure, says Miriam. I think this was carved by a human or an orc. Too rough to be made by an elf. Probably just some harmless local custom. Miriam tosses the trinket to you and looks up at Braxton. You can put your shield down. We mark story point L1.
All right, keep going. You don't have to wait for me.
Oh, all right. Well, just make sure you read.
It's marked.
We gain the wooden trinket, which is item B.
Wait, have we all made a decision now? It should be flipped back over.
Oh, yeah, I made a decision.
Yes.
So
I'll look at it first, and I'll hand it around.
Trinket's a bear, Will.
You found this intricate wooden trinket at the Great Oak in Eventide Forest. It looks quite old. A heart is carved into the wood containing the letters T and U. That looks more like a badger to me, but yeah.
It does. No, badgers are like bears. All right, we'll keep it. Sure, put on your sheet and... have you added...
Pudge is a little bit out of breath. Just from reading that, he's a little out of breath. How have you made it this far?
Oh, add the item to your thing.
Okay, wooden trinket.
I don't think it's unlikely we'll be getting another one of those, but there are items which you can get more than one of, even though there's only one card. And now we go and read entry 8549, Graham.
8549.
Oh boy.
My brother likes red wine. Every time.
Some sort of wine. You assist Braxton in gathering some kindling and start a small campfire a few paces from the great oak. While you work, you can hear Miriam humming softly to herself. You set out your bedroll and relax. Although you're all tired, a brief chat around the campfire is not an unwelcome event. Someone can either ask Miriam what she plans to do in Dragonholt, ask Braxton what she plans to do in Dragonholt, even though I've already done that, or we can go straight to sleep. Anyone want to make this choice?
Braxton, what have you done in Dragonholt?
No, what she plans to do in Dragonholt.
What's your plans to do it? No, I won't make that decision.
We already went through that, didn't we?
Yes.
Just to go in a circle.
We're going to keep asking Braxton.
What did you do?
What do you do?
What did you do, Braxton?
All right. So, does anyone want to ask Miriam what she's going to do in Dragonholt?
I don't trust Miriam. I'm going to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going straight to sleep. So, flip your thing
sleep.
over. Mark story point H3.
H3.
Yep. And we're going to be reading entry 1096. Miriam lets out a long yawn, and you second the motion. As you nestle into your bedroll for the night, Braxton speaks up. Best we don't all sleep at once. I'll take the first watch. Can I count on you to take the second? You nod your agreement and drift off to sleep. Oh, okay, never mind. One of you must volunteer to keep watch. Refresh your activation token if you are keeping watch. The rest of you exhaust your activation token. 2 time passes, and you each recover 2 stamina. So,
I don't keep watch.
I'll keep watch.
Thank you.
So, 2 time passes, Graham. And I don't think any of us have lost any stamina. You survived your little tumble.
I did.
So
Did
you're
I
okay.
walk today?
I mean, unless you have like
I lost some
a
stamina.
creature, like a goat you've been
I
riding
like how the 2 foot, 6 inch tall, 140-pound gnome has more stamina than me.
got energy reserves.
It's not so much stamina as it is like hit points. I got a lot of Pudge on me.
Yeah, he's got
a lot of
padding.
fun.
He's got padding. You rouse from your slumber to gently coaxing. You rouse from your slumber to gentle coaxing from Braxton. Your turn to watch, she says quietly. You rub your eyes for a moment and sit up, taking a drink from your canteen to wake yourself. I'm the active one.
We all do
I'm
it.
the active one.
We all sit up. Then we go back to sleep.
You glance around camp at your fellow travelers. Braxton prepares her bedroll, lies down, and is quickly asleep. Miriam stirs for a moment, possibly awakened by the brief commotion, and rolls to her other side. A gentle silence takes hold of the clearing. Your journey to Dragonholt has been a long one, but now you are no more than a half-day's travel from your destination. The crack of the burning branches from the campfire keeps you company as you keep watch. The moon is beginning to set.
The mooning.
The mooning!
I heard Mooney.
The moon is beginning to
mooning.
set, and you know the light of a new dawn will soon grace the forest clearing where you have made camp. Just then, you hear a rustling in the thick brush on one side of the camp, and recall Braxton's warning about bandits. My choice to make. I can either watch for further movement or signs of danger. I can arm myself with my 2 fists and take a closer look, which would not exhaust my activation token, or I can wake my fellow traveling companions. I'm going to watch for further movement or signs of danger, which is entry 3123. Legist entry with 3123.
31. 23.
I forgot what it was for a second there.
You shift yourself to watch the side of the camp where you heard the rustling, but you see nothing in the darkness. You wonder if the firelight is blinding your night vision, or if the sound you heard was just some animal scurrying about. Just when you think that you were worried for nothing, you hear a branch snap and leaves rustle, and then a half-dozen rough-looking figures step from the trees. They're clad in torn and stained clothing and scraps of leather armor. Their long knives and the steel of their arrowheads glinting in the light of your fire. Bandits. The bandits rush forward as you scramble to your feet. Some of them lift bows, pulling the arrows back and aiming for you. You shout a warning to your companions, who spring to their feet. Spring up and arm themselves. I want to see how would Pudge spring to his feet.
Armed myself. I'm gonna stab you, Pudge.
We're going to...
Dude, pick me up.
All right, we're going to read entry 5912. 5912.
5912. Gonna delve deeper in the story. Go ahead, D.
All right. More and more bandits step into the firelight. Their armor and weapons seem crude, but sufficient to the purpose. Braxton grips her sword in her right hand, doing her best to keep herself and her shield between Miriam and all of the bandits. By the way, you guys should have active tokens since I expended mine. So, our options are either to draw your weapons and engage the bandits, knock an arrow and fire at the bandits if you have the archery skill. You can toss a flask of explosive liquid at the bandits if you have alchemy, or you can attempt to reason with the bandits. Now, I believe you have alchemy.
I do have alchemy.
Would you like to toss a flask of explosive liquid at the bandits, or would we rather attempt to reason with them, or just draw?
Who dare wake Pudge from his slumber?
Yeah! Okay.
Not even looking, just throws.
So Pudge is going to toss a flask of explosive liquid. I'm not going to ask what that liquid is. At the bandits. So you can exhaust your token. We're going to read 6397, which is right here.
6397.
You hurl a flask containing one of your own concoctions to shatter on the hard earth. The substance erupts into flickering red flame, just as you intended. Well, approximately as you intended. The flames lick at 2 of the nearby bandits, spreading to their tattered breeches and tunics. The bandits run, screaming, beating at the fires that threatens to consume them. But the remaining bandits give the pool of flickering fire a wide berth and close in. Miriam flourishes one of her own flasks. Not bad, she says. Looks like a variant on More Fire, right? I don't think either of us have enough of that handy to deal with all these bandits, though. Also, says Braxton through gritted teeth, I would prefer if no one set fire to the forest until I were well out of it. We're going to be reading entry 4300. 4300.
4300.
The Daytona 4300.
We're here all year.
It's a year-long race. Endurance race.
All right. Braxton hefts a heavy steel shield and slashes her longsword threateningly at one of the approaching bandits. Miriam produces 2 flasks and unstoppers one of them. A thick, acrid smoke pours from its open mouth as she holds it aloft, ready to throw. 3 of the bandits suddenly rush forward, charging the camp. Miriam hurls the smoking flask, which erupts against one of their bucklers. A billowing cloud of acidic fog erupts from the impact site. The bandit shrieks and flails, dropping his buckler to the ground as it dissolves.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the other 2 bandits continue their charge. One swings an axe at Miriam, but Braxton catches the blade with her longsword and slams her shield into the man, sending him tumbling to the ground. The 3rd bandit dodges around Braxton and darts forward, straight toward you. Spear point trained at your chest. Now,
And whose chest?
that's either Graham or I. We have the option here. We can try to dodge the attack, catch the spear and disarm the bandit. We can deflect the spear and counterattack if we have dueling or military. I have dueling. Or we can blast the bandit alive with a rune if we have arcana or runes. I have dueling.
Go ahead.
I'm going to deflect the spear and counterattack with this. Ooh. Which will take us to entry 8427.
8427. This bandit's not gonna go to heaven. I'm not gonna sing every time.
Won't you?
I'm gonna run out of rhymes.
Yet to be seen. With instincts born of long training, you brace yourself, readying to parry the incoming thrust and counterattack. As long as you don't slip up, you can drop the bandit in a single attack. If you have agility or athletics, I have both, I can do something. I have to do something, actually. It's not an option. So I read entry 9608. You swing your weapon, my fist, to deflect the spear. To deflect the spear.
Punch the spear.
That's awesome. Knocking the lethal point aside and following up with a riposte. Riposte? You know how it's pronounced?
Both is fine.
Riposte.
I think it's riposte.
Riposte. Your attack catches the bandit off guard and leaves him bleeding on the grass. You step back, taking a moment to assess the situation. I believe story point H3 is marked. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. It is marked. Okay, so we're going to be reading 6577. As your companions do battle with the oncoming bandits, you take a moment to take stock of the camp. You see an orc woman holding a bow, sneaking around to approach from the rear. This is you. Her form difficult to make out in the dim light from your fire. Soon, your companions will be fighting on 2 fronts. You have the options here to either rush the lone bandit, put yourself between the archer and your companions, shoot an arrow. You don't have that option. You don't have runes, right? Can't do that. Do you have reasoning or stealth? You have stealth. Right?
Stealth.
Okay. You could choose to sneak around the great oak and catch her from behind, or do you have performance?
I don't.
Okay. Your options are either to sneak around, rush her, or put yourself between her and your companions.
I'm gonna sneak around her.
All right. Nice. So we're going to entry 1103.
I snuck around you.
Snuck around. Oh shoot! Gave it away.
What is it?
1103. You see that the orc bandit is moving toward the great oak tree in the center of the clearing while knocking an arrow. You duck around the oak from the other direction and soon find yourself behind the bandit. Is story point N3 marked?
N3,
Yes.
Mark story points H1 and K6. The orc raises her bow and draws one arm back until the fletching on her arrow is brushing her cheek.
Excuse me, could you not do that?
You step up behind her and bring a rock down on the back of her head, watching her boneless form slump back against the great oak's trunk.
Thinking of your alcoholic mother while you're doing it.
Die! That's pretty dark. We're going to entry 9513.
9513.
For collar!
By
Oh, okay.
a big tree. Okay, you're by a big tree.
For collar and Harmon! Bellows Braxton. In the flickering firelight, she sees a demon from a nightmare, huge and dark and powerful. 3 of the bandits attempt to surround her, but she pivots away, slamming her shield into one and knocking her down, then slashing at a second and sending him screaming into the dark, clutching at his face. She trades blows with a large human, his axe sliding off her shield, her sword flickering past his face as he dances backward. You notice a bandit with his hair in a long braid creeping up behind Braxton with a knife glimmering in his hand. Focused as Braxton is on her battle with the large bandit, she clearly hasn't noticed. Now, we can either intercept the approaching bandit, catch the bandit from behind, or, if someone has an alchemy skill, they can stop the bandit with an alchemical concoction. Will, would you, or Pudge, I should say, would you like to do that, or should you want to maybe discuss this further?
I'm gonna let the bandit stab her.
That's not gonna happen.
Dirty orc. No.
You want to use your alchemy? Do you want to use your thing here? Or do you want to let one of us? Huh?
Right, what do you guys?
I'm not gonna. We either intercept the approaching bandit or catch them from behind.
Intercept it.
All right, he's gonna intercept.
You're gonna do that?
I'm gonna intercept.
You're gonna intercept. All right, you're gonna intercept the approaching bandit. We're gonna read entry 5517.
Pick 6.
You leap forward and shout a challenge to the braid-wearing bandit, who spins and sneers at you with crooked teeth.
I challenge you.
The bandit brandishes a knife, and you begin to circle one another warily.
Circling and circling and circling.
Knife fight. I'll gut you like a bloated fish, he shrieks and hurls himself at you. His attack is clumsy, more passionate than skilled, and you soon see your opportunity. Do you have brawling or dueling?
No.
Okay, then we're going to be reading entry 4585.
585.
4585. This is the entry where Duke dies.
I would. You grab up a burning brand from the nearby campfire, but before you can use it for anything, the bandit slashes at you with his knife, cutting open a ragged tear across your chest.
No!
You lose 4 stamina. That's half. Well,
Duke falls over dead.
He's half. He's done.
You swing your burning brand over your head and thrust it at the bandit, sending him leaping backward with a squawk. He jabs out with his knife, preventing you from following up and finishing him off. Behind him, you see Braxton slam her shield solidly into her assailant, then spin and bring her sword down on the braided bandit. He shrieks, then falls, and Braxton turns back to the axe-wielding brute without a word. We're going to be going to entry 2004. Your companions are still locked in combat with the bandits, who swarm around the edges of the light provided by your campfire. Screaming incoherently, a scarred bandit rushes at you. In one hand, he brandishes a studded iron mace. The other arm ends in a steel hook, its metal glinting in the firelight. We have the options here. You can either rush forward to engage the bandit. If you have the military skill, Will, do you have that?
Nope.
Nor do I, so we're not going to do that. Arcana, archery, or thievery.
Nope.
You don't have any? You don't have Arcana? So, okay, I don't either.
Uh-oh.
Nope. Or if you have the alchemy skill, you can protect yourself with an alchemical mixture. Would you be so kind as to do that?
I pull out it's like a vial of oil, and I just pour it all over myself.
I don't think that's exactly what I meant, but we'll see how this actually works. But if you're going to do that then?
Yes.
All right, flip over your token, and we're going to entry 4340. You reach to a belt pouch and retrieve a mixture that will stop the approaching bandit in his tracks. Oh, maybe you're right. But the bandit's charge is faster than you thought, and you fumble with the flap. In a moment, the bandit is upon you, his mace held high. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
You don't have agility, right?
No.
We're going to read entry 8374. Oh, dear.
Erase my current stamina.
You pull a glass vial from your pouch, but to your dismay, it is no more than a mundane mixture, not yet ready for use.
Oh, no.
The bandit swings his mace.
Baby oil.
Water over him. The bandit swings his mace, clipping you on the
I
shoulder.
opened my canteen.
The bandit swings his mace, clipping you on the shoulder and spinning you around. He swings again and catches you in the gut. Ooh,
Oh.
Easy target. Knocking the breath from you, you lose 4 stamina. You stagger back, and as he raises his mace a third time, you aim a kick at his knee. You feel his knee give out with a satisfying crunch and smash the glass flask against the side of his head, showering the surrounding area with shards of glass and glistening liquid. The bandit falls over, shrieking and clutching at his knee with his good hand and his face with his sharpened hook. You wonder if he might accidentally do more damage to himself than you did. We're going to entry 2399. You find yourself standing in a loose circle with your companions and no bandits close at hand. Assuming it's his knee at this point, yeah. Even more of the enemy emerge from the trees, however, and they begin to surround you. What now? Breathes Miriam. You're sure it's the first time you've heard fear in her voice. The bandit's leader chuckles and speaks, causing the firelight to play off the long scar on the side of his cheek, on the side of his face, in a sinister way. Drop your valuables and leave. There's no need for you to die here. The other bandits hoot and howl and brandish their blades and axes in the air in front of you. Braxton glances sideways at you. There are too many of them. We cannot win this fight. She edges backwards, and you notice her lean in the direction of Dragonholt. You can't have my gold. I'll be using it to start my business, hisses Miriam. Despite the bite in her words, you notice her hands trembling. I can either fend off the bandits long enough for the others to escape. If I have brawling, dueling, or military, I have 2 of those. I can create a diversion and flee. If I have deception or performance, I do not. I don't have alchemy, so I can't cause a smoke screen, or I can turn tail and run.
I probably should have done this one.
Well, you know, who knew? I'm gonna fend off the bandits long enough for the others to escape.
Well,
so we're all flipped over. We can actually flip ourselves back. So we're going to entry 6738.
It was nice knowing you, Ciarán.
I'm a professional fighter. You tell your companions to run forward and spring forward, bringing the battle to the bandits. The ferocity of your attack catches the bandits off guard, and at first they fall back. You press the advantage, taking down a burly human woman with a pair of jagged knives. She has the knives, not me. And disarming a gnome man who attempts to dart in and slash your hamstrings. I assume that's you.
Pudge starts attacking you.
Wrong side. The bandits soon regroup, however, and their numbers begin to tell. You are swiftly pressed back, and it becomes clear to you you will be overwhelmed. Since your companions have already escaped, you turn and run for it as well. All right. No stamina lost. We go to entry 3645. 3645.
Just struggling to run behind you guys.
Ciarán and all the bandits just pass you. You have to
He hasn't actually moved from his spot yet. He's still turning his body and getting ready. You run through Eventide Forest, scrambling and stumbling as you go. You're surprised to discover that you can see, and you realize... you're surprised to discover that you can see, and you realize the sun... Oh, I see. The sun must already be rising somewhere beyond the trees.
Just read a little bit more.
I'm not blind. Time passes. The narrow and twisting path soon comes to a steep climb with a rocky outcropping that rises above on the either side. A large standing stone towers to your right. You can hear the bandits still coming behind you, shouting to their fellows like hounds on the hunt. But any pursuer will have to scramble up this same narrow gulch. We can either tip over the standing stone to block the path. No one has archery, so we can't fire a bow. Anyone have survival?
I have survival.
If you have survival, you can attempt to set a trap for the approaching bandits if you'd like. Or we can just tip over the stone. Someone can. Do you want to set a trap?
I'm going to set a trap.
All right. Setting a trap for the approaching bandits. We're going to entry 3575, which is right here. You quickly make a set of snares that you tether to young trees at the top of the gulch. Then you cover them with a handful of leaves and gravel. You urge your companions on and fall back as the bandits grow closer.
Fall back!
Hooting and baying as they come. Their shouts turn to cries of alarm as you hear the first of your snares yank a bandit off his feet. We're going to entry 5129. With the bandits preoccupied by your efforts back at the gulch, you are able to gain a considerable lead on them. The rocky terrain continues to rise up around you, the trees of Eventide Forest becoming smaller and scrappier as you go. Soon you come to a sheer cliff face, only a few scraggly trees clinging to the rocks rising above you. Sunlight spills across the sky above the cliff, a promise of freedom and safety. You could climb up to the top, but it would prove a challenge. The path continues to the left a fair distance, then becomes a tight switchback crawling up to the top of the rise. It would be a safer route to the top, but slower than climbing directly.
Oh, you know I ain't climbing no
So we can either climb the cliff face or run for the switchback path.
You can carry me up that cliff face. I ain't climbing that thing.
Duke, do you want to make this call or should I?
You make it.
All right. we're gonna run for the switchback path. I'm considering the feelings of Duke here, which will be
Pudge.
Oh, you mean a Pudge?
Pudge. You're Duke.
I'm Duke.
All these nicknames.
I know. It's not a
Duke is his
nickname.
name.
Duke's your actual name?
Yeah,
Duke's
it's
his
my
name,
given
apparently.
name.
In a fantasy setting, you were named Duke?
Yes. Duke Jackson.
Okay, we're going to entry 9716. You sprint for the switchback trail, covering the distance in short order. Braxton swings Miriam over her shoulder without breaking stride. The gnome contents herself with a single squat of protest. When you reach the bottom of the switchback, you are already out of breath. You each lose 2 stamina unless you have endurance.
2 stamina down.
I do have endurance. I'm still looking good.
I'm not looking so good, guys. I have 2.
Well, you don't die when you lose.
okay.
Actually, I can mention, if you go to 0 stamina, what happens is you choose one of your skills and you disable it, and then you gain 1 stamina.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you run out of skills, then you die.
I don't know if it'd be tough.
You're useless.
Then you're basically useless. Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Play the game.
You start the climb, but haven't reached the first turning when the bandits emerge from the trees. Are you serious? Persistent.
I don't go away.
Howling like hounds on the scent, they rush after you. 2 of their number fall back, knocking arrows and launching them in in your direction. You each lose.
In either direction.
Oh boy.
Shooting off.
You each lose 3 stamina unless you have the agility skill.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm down.
I have agility too.
Yeah.
Team agility. What are you down to?
I'm like 2 feet away from them because I didn't get very far up the hill.
How much do you have?
How much did I lose there?
3.
I'm down to 3.
It's a good thing you have the most.
Yeah, I would have been done.
By the time you reach the top of the slope, your lungs and legs are burning and you're gasping for breath. But you can't rest now. The bandits are still too close behind you. So you, Duke, are the only active one.
Yeah.
You can either throw rocks at the bandits.
Okay.
You don't have archery, so that's not an option. Do you have awareness or survival?
I don't have either of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Darn. And you don't have arcana or runes.
Nope.
Great. So throwing rocks it is. Yeah, flip it over. Well, don't flip it over. We'll flip over ours. We're back to. Well, we're going to entry 8263.
I'm gonna throw Pudge.
That's probably better than rocks.
Yeah.
You and your companions gather rocks and begin to hurl them down at the bandits below. Some of your rocks impact on arms and heads, but even the ones that miss knock others loose from the rocky terrain, causing small cascades of scree and gravel to pelt and harass your pursuers.
Take that scree.
Driven back by a steady assault of stones and probably just as tired as you are, the bandits turn back and retreat into the forest. You have escaped. The rocks worked!
Bandits hate.
Thank God you're not so skilled.
My experience.
We're
Yeah.
going to entry 9999. This might be the last one. As the sun climbs above the trees, you continue your journey toward Dragonholt. At your new elevation, the trees are smaller and farther apart, and at some point you have passed an invisible barrier, where you're not in a forest so much as a rocky plain with occasional trees. Dragonholt lies below you, and you can see the beacon tower rising above the trees, the sun climbing the sky behind it. You have less than an hour of walking before you. Time passes. Time passes.
3 times?
No, just once. At length, you walk through an orchard. The twisted trees heavy with fruit and propped up by weathered boards and poles. Then you find yourself on Dragonholt's main street, walking beneath the dueling dragon statues that serve as the closest thing to a city gate. One dragon is carved from black stone, the other from white, and the arch across the street above you, not quite touching. Marvelous, breathes Braxton. Some sort of memorial of the Dragon Wars, says Miriam. This way, she says, and skips down the cobbled street as if she hadn't been woken in the middle of the night by bandits. You cross a crowded village green that is laid out before a garden shrine with a domed glass ceiling. In front of the shrine stands a marble spire atop which burns a beacon fire. Then you pass a building dark with soot and marred by broken windows. Miriam pauses at an intersection and peers down the 2 side streets before nodding vigorously and leading the way south. We'll get a proper breakfast as soon as we find my ass in. It's called the Swan. Does it have a lovely white swan painted on its sign? Asked Braxton. Yes, it does, says Miriam. Then, is that it? Just there, she points, and Miriam beams. That's it! Let's go! She rushes off in a fresh burst of energy, leaving
So
you
much energy.
stumbling along behind. Yeah. I'm feeling great, by the way.
Yeah. Are you?
10 stamina. Unhurt.
I have like an arrow sticking out of my back.
When you finally reach the swan, you find Miriam babbling excitedly to a gnome who looks almost exactly like her, plus 20 years. You must be Miriam's friends, says the older woman. I'm Miriam's aunt, Sapphire. It's good to meet you.
Pleasure.
Are you hitting on her?
No. I hit on everyone.
She welcomes you inside, and you step down into a blessedly cool, half-sunken common room, where a scattering of thick oak tables and sturdy chairs lies beneath the rafters, strung with herbs and root vegetables. Food. Thick iron lanterns rest on each table, none lit now, and light streams in from tall windows against the south wall. Please have a seat, says your host, and you do. We made it, says Braxton, dropping heavily into a chair that creaks under her weight. I think I could sleep for a week. None of that, says Miriam. We have work to do. Braxton lifts her head and glares. Starting tomorrow, I guess. Let's all take today off.
Yeah.
Miriam vanishes into a back room, then appears a few minutes later with a tray rattling with glass bottles of red liquid. Is it red wine? Who likes? I like red wine, I think.
You like
Yes.
Here, she says, and distributes the bottles.
Red wine.
It's the least I can do for helping get me here safely. It is Hawaiian punch. No.
That's what she says?
No. You gain 3 healing potions. Item A. So I guess maybe we each
Take one.
Yeah.
Let's each take one. Technically, we're supposed to share all items, but I think we should each take 1 healing potion. When you drink this potion, you recover half of your maximum stamina. So you guys could, if you wanted to, just drink this now.
No.
Okay. But yeah, so we have that.
I think we're gonna have to sleep soon. Recover stamina that way.
Sapphire returns a moment later with a large tray overflowing with plates of, brace yourself, yellow eggs, loaves of dark brown bread, and a tall pitcher of milk. I hope you'll stay at the Swan for as long as you like, she says. No charge, of course, not after what you went through to get my Miriam here safely. And just, all the food's gone.
Pudge accidentally drinks the healing potion thinking it's wine. Damn wine.
Interesting vintage.
Miriam pours everyone a glass of milk. She holds hers aloft and exclaims, "To new roads." Braxton takes a glass, holds it up, and looks from Miriam to Sapphire to you. To new friends. The meal is amazing, and you soon collapse in rooms provided by your generous host. You doze through the majority of the day. After dinner, you rest in the common room, chatting idly with Braxton and another patron. Soon, the lack of a good night's sleep is too much, and you retire to your room. You will have to explore Dragonholt on the morrow. You each recover half of your maximum stamina. I'll put me at 15, cheating.
Recover up to half, or
No, you recover half of your maximum
So
stamina.
4.
You recover, so
I recovered 6.
You're at 6, and you recovered 6.
I'm at 9.
9, okay. You each recover 1 skill, that's not an issue. You each refresh your activation token, that's fine. You each gain 1 experience.
Ooh, okay, so what do I just write, like a little check or something?
1.
1.
Your fame increases by 1, so on our fame wheel, we can put that up to 3. And the quest is complete, gentlemen. We would next be reading entry 1001 in the Dragonholt Village book. But that is the end of To New Roads. I thought that was a lot of fun. This game comes with 5 more, like, shorter adventures like this, as well as a big Dragonholt Village book, which we haven't even touched, of course.
I want to keep playing.
We can turn this into we're going to probably keep playing this anyway. We can keep this into a series on the channel if you all at home would like. So, leave us some comments on this video here and let us know what your thoughts are on perhaps turning Legacy of Dragonholt into a Legacy series.
Sure, and if you have any feedback about what you want to see from our characters, maybe some more shirtless Duke.
Shirtless Duke. We can.
Yeah. Some more shirtless Pudge.
Shirtless
Duke.
Pudge. Pantsless Ciarán.
Pantsless kid.
Think about it. Regardless, please check out our website, boardcrazygames.com, for all of our videos, all of our articles, content, and our review of at least this portion of Legacy of Dragonholt. Probably, obviously, won't be a full review of the game, but if this becomes an ongoing series, we will probably roll out really shorter than usual reviews for each section we go through. Of course, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Visit our website, our Facebook, our Twitter.
Links to all those in the description below.
our Pinterest page with all of our fan art for these characters. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm D.
I'm Duke.
And I'm Pudge, or Will, whatever you want to call me.
Are you Pudge?
No, I'm Will. My character's Pudge.
Right, but are you Pudge?
I'm Pudge.
Okay. Toodaloo, everybody.